Welcome back, everyone. Massive show today. We break down absolutely everything. The D's getting pumped by Freo. It might be a double or nothing, though, because the Giants are taking on the D's. The Pig, he has a hilarious horse racing story, one that you'll just love, and you've all been there. We also talk about tipping in Australia. Play on or out of bounds. 10 out of 10 service, but a tipping machine in front of you after you pay the bill. You tell us. And Domino's, now delivering pizzas from a jet suit champion. You should see that one. Oh, there's plenty more locks, tips, heaps going on in AFL Round 20. Stay right here. This episode is proudly sponsored by KPI Construction Services. When it comes to construction sites, reliability and efficiency are key. That's where KPI Construction Services shines. With a single call, KPI provides a range of essential services, which includes labour hire, crane hire, and traffic control. KPI is a progressive business with modern plant and equipment across all of their operating states. Focusing on innovation and to avoid the business drifting is always front of mind. We are proud to be aligned with and have such a reputable company partnering with the show. Aces, I know I always go on about the RIXXs, but I got huge news. We have all our styles and colours restocked on the website right now. Get online, grab some sunglasses at rixxeyewear.com.au right now and use our little discount code ACES if you want a 20% discount code on the house.
All right, Tommy, let's get stuck into the podcast, mate.
I'm not even going to say welcome back. We say welcome back every week. We're just talking receding hairlines here live. I've got we're going to get to the puke segment in a minute, but...
Where are you going?
Yeah, no intro this week, mate. Just roll fucking straight in, mate. Come on, mate. We're giving the same intro every week. I've learned it's meant to be a conversation, so let's just get into it.
I didn't think we were going yet. Jesus,
I was just saying, mate, I've got this grey patch on me beard. It's like full white.
Yeah,
it honestly looks like dirt.
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for you. I can see it from here.
But it's come out of nowhere, mate. A bit of stress, maybe. I don't know. It's
a bit going on.
Oh, a bit going on, yeah. It's tough out there, mate.
The pod's stressing you out.
It's tough out there, managing
Yeah,
all
I was
this.
saying before, I'm getting a bit wispy. I don't know. I might have to go to Turkey.
Would you get the plugs?
Nah.
It looks horrific, the process.
Whatever will be, will be. If I start losing my hair, that's it.
I reckon in 10 years there'd be something new.
But I wouldn't bother. That's just me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I start getting a little bit chunky or I start losing my hair.
A little bit chunky.
If I start getting it. We're already halfway there.
Yeah, we all love it. It's just, I know what you mean, like chunky receding. Mate, this grey spot on me chin, it's rattled me because like, it looks like it's just weird.
Nah, you can't notice it that much.
No. So now I've got to clip the chin every week.
Good to see you. What are you
too, mate. Just back from Goldie, it was good.
Good?
Yeah, just what is it, like Friday to Tuesday? Yeah, weather was great. Just good to see the sun consistently every day.
It's freezing down here. I'm sick of looking at Instagram and seeing everyone's in Bali. I got a mate that I spoke to on the phone. He's going to Bali this week.
Everyone's in Europe or Bali.
Europe.
But Bali's a hot spot.
I'm nearly unfollowing people that are in Europe at the moment.
Just try to stay off your Instagram.
Yeah.
It's hard once you get in there, once someone messages you and you're on there. But, mate, everyone's going there now. I mean, I was there for 2 or 3 weeks last year. It's amazing how time flies.
2 or 3 weeks. You're going all the way over there.
Mate, I'm kind of committed. Man of integrity. I said, boys, I can't really be fuck going. I've got a lot going on down here. But if I was to go, it can only be 3 weeks between when I leave and when I get back. Felt like I took 2 years off my life because I was working over there. Yeah. We banked a couple of pods for Tommy Talk, so I was doing them over there. We didn't have this footy show going, so I didn't have to be required like weekly. But I was doing all the work on laptop and mate, some of the Wi-Fi that I'm running with. Like I'll never forget, there was a time we were at a bar. I think we were in EOS for like 2 nights and we were blind. And I'm, Brado's gone, mate, here's all the work. So I'm uploading it. And I'm just at the bar with a cocktail blind, like on YouTube and Acast.
Hey, that's living the dream.
It's not, man. Because you can't, then I'm running to the bathrooms, doing a bit of social media activity. You know what I mean? Like doing all these things that you just have to do because the time zone's completely upside down.
Yeah.
People trying to do phone calls, you're getting up at different time. Huge. Yeah. But elite time. Would you do Sail Croatia?
I've done it.
Yeah, but I did Yacht Week. Sorry, Sail Croatia for the young kids. Yeah.
No, well, it's the same thing. Yacht Week's part of Sail Croatia.
I think Yacht Week's a bit more.
We kind of had our own boats when we were the year off with Essendon.
The year off. Oh, mate, see, that's actually worked out. The Grouse.
It was the Grouse.
You've done things you've done things no one else has done.
And then right in the smack bang in the middle of my career, I got a 9-week holiday in Europe. I mean, we went through a little bit to get there, but it was the Grouse.
Was it worth it?
Yeah, well, probably.
You are the man. Well, mate, it's great to see you back here. This 12-week challenge, it feels like it's getting easier, but me and you keep talking about how we're just so flat that Sydney lost to the Saints, because I think we'd be halfway, but instead we're 2 of 12 down. And I'll go through last week's.
Teasing us. It's like we get 2 or 3 wins and then something that shouldn't.
Yeah. So string out tick, Alan, tick, anytime goal for you. So you were done early. You were Friday and Saturday first game. And I had to wait for Butters, who had a slow start. I think he had 10 at half time. And I'm like, come on, man. And then he finished with about 28, but he had 25. And then the Blues to win against North, I just thought I'd finish it off. But that was I was pretty hungover, as I expected, after a Saturday night in Goldie. And I was sitting on the couch, no emotion, watching a great mate, Griff Logue, back.
Good to see him back.
Yeah, great to see him back. And I saw him,
he played many in the VFL?
Played 3 or 4.
Okay. Yeah.
And looked great, didn't he? And then I was like, North are 4 points behind. And I think McKercher just ran into Kernow, like he was looking for an option. Then he tripped over a bit, and that gave them 10-point lead. And from there, North couldn't really climb back. But they were like, if they had to kick the goal, it's like the momentum. I was like, I'm going to lose to North again. Like, North have killed us this year.
I was a little teaser. I was going to tip Geelong this week as one of my locks, but I just can't do it now. North are playing too well.
It's in Tassie, that game as well.
Yeah, they're good down there.
I think Jezza kicks. Because I remember
your mob down there, didn't they?
Yeah. I think they did. I think. Yeah, they did. No. Hawthorn beat Freo down there.
Geelong weren't. They were.
Geelong are the hardest team to read. They're the hardest team to read, mate. They smacked Hawthorn. So then I kind of in my head thought, Hawthorn aren't going as well as we thought, but they are. They're flying. It's just that was a bad game for them. Everything else, they're winning everything.
Yeah.
Anyway, plenty to talk about. D's v Freo. Pig, I need it on the run sheet. Hand you your Freo jersey from last week's bet that we had.
So where is it?
I've actually left it in the car, and I'm not lying.
Stiff.
And I thought, it is stiff, but
it's on the run sheet here. Give Pig the jersey.
Yes, but I was thinking as I was walking in, I looked at the schedule, and the Giants are playing Melbourne at the G this week, and I went, the jumper I've got, it's not the best. It's one of the Freo ones I had from back in the day. Like, I'm talking, it's a jumper, not a footy jumper. Couldn't find one.
Well, it wasn't a punishment anyway. It was just a little thing.
A little bet, though. A little bet.
I'm happy to pay.
And I said the line, I said the line. I still would have won. They got dismantled, but we'll talk about it later. Dismantled.
Talk about it.
So I think I reckon we go again, double or nothing.
We're two jumps.
No. Just clean slate for Freo. But we'll just say, we'll work out something. I think people in the comments can maybe work this one out on YouTube. Maybe on YouTube.
It's not a punishment. It's
just what you should wear.
Maybe I'll wear the GWS jumper.
You might have to wear a high vis with no top underneath.
I'll buy a slab or something.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it.
What about a high vis? No, nothing underneath.
We'll talk about it.
Sausages out and a slab of piss.
No, I'm not getting the snags out, am I?
I reckon snags out in the high vis with the KPI hat on for the whole
stinks.
It's the orange tsunami. It's double or nothing.
I'll bring you in a slab and I'll get a GWS.
I reckon he's in the high vis next week if the Giants.
It's up for debate.
Anyway, what else we got? Lions going well. The dogs are barking. I've written down. Dogs are they sneaky?
If they get in, and I said this the other week, I think any team literally that gets in the 8 at the moment can press and win a flag. Like I don't think Sydney are locks by any means. Seen what Brisbane have done, have just turned their season around from whatever, like they lost, was it 1 and 5 or something they were, and we were counting them out, saying this is a final for them at round 7. Now they're in the top 4. No, they lost. They won on the weekend against Sydney, so. I don't know, man. Anyone can win. I'm confident if Melbourne can find form at the right time, being a Melbourne supporter, and they get in the 8, they just need to get in there. And I think Dogs, if they can get in, Melbourne, and then it's like,
come on, you've got to give up on Melbourne.
I'm going to give up on Melbourne.
They have been huge. But I've thought about Melbourne. Yeah. They've lost 5 of their best players. It feels like.
I think Gorney will be back this week, which
that's big.
will be big. But, GWS, if they're in, it's a raffle. I don't know what you think about it, but I honestly think anyone can win. You just got to get in there and give yourself a chance.
Yeah, well, the top two teams. So I've said all year, Sydney haven't had an injury all year, and now they've just lost, I think, Papley and Rampy, maybe just minor. I'm not sure. But if you start getting injuries at the wrong time of the year and your form's out of whack at the end of the year, that's not great. It doesn't normally go that well for you. The teams that are humming right now are like Hawthorn, Brisbane, but obviously Harris Andrews out. Let's just see how they go.
Joyce, I think, out.
Joyce as well. So they need to make he's just so important. But they're the teams that and Freo's had those moments against the Dogs, I reckon, down here, and they got beat by Hawthorn, and they were games where I went, and Alex Pearce, unfortunately, he's hurt his wrist again, and I don't know how long that'll be, but hopefully he's back for finals.
For him. He really steadies him up.
Coxie's back though, so if Alex can get back, yeah, but it's just that open. I don't think I've ever seen anything like. And Carlton, I think they've got the best list, right, with the spine and everything when they're all healthy, but they haven't been playing that well. Like, they're not putting teams away, but they're winning, and that's all you need to do. So if they hit their straps the last couple of weeks and then finals, I still think Carlton has the list. Yeah. When you watch like Moneyball and all that, like they've got the list. They've been building that list for years.
Yeah.
They got Coleman medalists. They got one of the best fullbacks. They got Brownlow medalists in the midfield. They've got role players everywhere. They've got everything you need. Just need to make sure they're healthy. So it's going to be an exciting finish to the year. One of the most exciting finishes, I reckon. You can't pick it.
And I'm starting to become a real believer of Freo after what they did on the weekend. They have a good list. If you look at it, like, they've just got so many not big names but good players. Jacko, is he out? I didn't see. He had said injured on the weekend, but they're the best two combo rucks in the comp, Darcy and Jacko. So I think they're a massive sniff if they keep going the way they're going.
What about Rochelle's goal against the Dons? That broke my family's heart because they're all Essendon, and we'll talk about Essendon later on. But that goal reminded me of the one and only James Hird, and I'm sure it's been spoken about. Where were you when Hirdy kicked that goal? Do you remember?
I know it was a night game. It would have been a Friday or Saturday night. It would have been probably a Saturday night. I would have had footy the next day. It's probably young, under 16s, under 14s, whatever it was. I remember watching it and just, he had the best last quarter, I reckon, ever to win a game. It's a big call, but it was I don't know where I was, but I would have been sitting on the couch watching the night before footy. And it's like, it's iconic. And Rochelle went and did it, and I thought straight away, geez, he's burnt his teammates. Yeah. About 4 blokes were chasing him for a hug, a high five, and he's gone to some random bloke in the crowd. And it was against Essendon. Was it preempted? Well,
I don't know. It just reminded me of Hirdy. I mean, there's I don't think there's anything like Hirdy's just on the pocket and it was to win the game.
It's an odd thing to do, if you ask me. I don't
mind it. I reckon the more although this comes back to early in the year, was it the Collingwood fan that got kicked out for the rest of the year for touching the players? Now the players are grabbing the fans. We don't talk about it like that. I mean, double standards.
It's hypocrisy there.
I'm all for it. Don't get me wrong. My whole thing was, if it's all, going well, like the Collingwood guy just touched him. I thought it was play on.
The bloke didn't have tats on his face, so and Rochelle went out to him. So.
I love fan interaction. I think we're going to talk about Ginnivan later on, but I think what Rochelle did and especially in those moments, that was always a childhood dream. I reckon I used to practice the running around and grabbing, like high-fiving the crowd when you kick a little dribble goal in under 10s, You kick a grouse goal, run around, you're faking it, but they're the moments you dream of. So to have one...
Yeah, it was cool.
I reckon it's the coolest thing you could do.
I'm just thinking if one of my mates has kicked the goal and I'm chasing him down to give him a high five and he's running, he'd hug the bloke in the crowd. I'm like, mate, what are you doing?
I don't know, Rochelle, but I tell you what, he's a little bit of a selfish operator. You know what I mean? Like, inside 50, have you seen the guy lower his eyes? Not much. He loves the sausage roll, and I reckon he loves his celebrations.
Yeah, he loves it.
And that's an opinion, but I reckon he's an entertainer, and he's got his celebration at the forefront. So it's good to see, real good to see. But as a Dons fan, the Dons worry me.
They should have won that. I
know, and it's like it's shattering because. I mean, I've told you all year I want the Bombers and the Suns to play finals and win a final just because their clubs need it, especially the Dons, to get this thing off their back. But Now they're sitting, I think, 7th or 8th on the ladder. It's like,
2
it's
points.
that tight down the bottom. It's like, no, don't do this to everyone.
And you got the Inform Dogs just breathing down their neck, 2 points
Hawthorn.
behind. Hawthorn, 2 points behind.
Collingwood's
all high
there.
percentage.
If they
Melbourne's the same. It's
They were top 4, and people were like talking like lock top 4, and now we're talking, there's still like 4 or 5 games to go. They might not even be in the 8 going into the last round. They do play the Saints this week, so they might be able to bounce back up.
for 'em.
Big game. Righto, 2 more points, but Biden is done. Now, he must have tuned into the KPI Construction to stop that I gave him about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's the only explanation.
Put the feet up, smell the roses is exactly what he's done. Huh?
Wow, or he's gotten a real foot up the arse. Like, he has been kicked out the door, if you ask me. But, yeah, it's interesting. This American politics is hilarious, if you ask me. Now, Trump's gone from can't lose to apparently he's down on the points or whatever the system is there. But getting rid of that old geezer Biden was the best thing they could do. There's no way anyone in their right mind would vote for him. But, we're a sports show. We're not talking politics.
No, there's so many memes in that. I can't even make a comment on politics because I don't look into it. But it's been very funny to watch.
It's funny. It's hilarious.
Yeah, very good. And then the last point I've got here before we get in, but the Microsoft shutdown. Did you hear about that last week? And were you affected, or were any of your mates affected?
Oh, I wasn't affected. No, I heard a lot about it. I heard that people had their membership cards and that go on the footy. They wouldn't work.
Uber must have been on there because I couldn't get an Uber to dinner on the Friday night for a little period there. They're all down.
Oh, well, that's what happens when you got 2 kids and you're sitting at home doing nothing and you got an Apple iPhone. So didn't affect me, but I heard a lot about it. So
actually, Apple iPhones, right?
Yes.
But people with Androids.
Nah, it doesn't make sense to me.
They're
You know that annoys me with people with those Androids? It's like when you text them and it comes up green.
Oh, and you go, you can't do group chats.
You try to put a group chat and you're like, oh, this nugget has an Android, I know it.
And
or
you know
BlackBerry.
you know what I've also noticed? When you speak to people that have Androids, they are so strong against Apple.
Yeah.
They love the fact that they're an outlier.
They're different units. That's where I went with it.
But do you know what I mean? Like, they are proud to have the green text, the Android.
There's people that want to be different, you know? I don't know. I don't know about them.
It's like, come on, man. We want the group chat.
Get an Apple phone.
You got to create
Apple
WhatsApp
phone.
groups
Keep
just
calling
because
it
of the
Apple
Android.
phone. It's iPhone. I keep calling it Apple phone. I'm nowhere. All right, let's go.
You are nowhere. Righto. Well, let's get into a play on or out of bounds. As you know, I was on the Gold Coast, went out for dinner. But I'll start off with what it is. Not tipping in Australia after 10 out of 10 service. Play on or out of bounds.
Oh, after 10 out of 10. So
service
you get
was
great.
as good as it gets
Oh, you got a tip.
in Australia.
I know. I don't like tipping in Australia. I think we've had this discussion before. But I think if the restaurant has an option to tip and that you're happy with the service, then I think you got to give them a
In
little
Australia.
tip. Yeah, I give them a little tip. But then again, I'd say, so to answer your question, I reckon it's out of bounds if you don't tip. If the service is 10 out of 10. If the service is shit and like they've just delivered your meal, they haven't given you any tips of what to eat on the menu or, you know, certain drinks that go with the steaks or whatever it is, if they don't do that, then no, throw the tip in up your bum. Like it's no good. But I went to a pub a week ago or whatever. I was catching up with one of my mates. 2 pots and it had a tip. Oh, mate, you're pouring me a pot. Why did you push no that quick? Couldn't believe it. Maybe it was there because people order meals through that same
Platform.
FPOS machine. But I thought that was weird and that was a bit brazen of them. But to answer your question, I'm saying if you get 10 out of 10 service, which is hard to get these days, I reckon you just give a little tip.
No, but then the little one's offensive.
5. I'll tell you what's offensive, no tip.
Well, offering the tip in Australia is offensive.
Yeah,
because we don't have it.
Don't disagree with that.
This is what my point is.
Oh,
that's why
so it's
I felt bad not tipping, and I was contemplating it. It wasn't a cheap meal. We went out to a nice place, but I thought, what's this tip business? We're not in America. I'll tip when I go there. I tip when I go to when you're on holidays. But Australia, we don't tip. But now we're tipping.
Yeah, so I'm saying it's out of bounds to even ask for a tip from them.
But hospitality people out there, if this is a thing, happy for it to be a thing, but it needs to be across the board.
Yeah.
One tip here, than not tipping. You know what I mean? It's like you should tip every time if that's your opinion.
Well, I think wages are good enough here so we don't tip. Over in America, the wages of someone that, a waitress or a waiter or whatever is pretty low. That's why the tipping system is such a big thing.
So the tipping option shouldn't be there.
No, it shouldn't be. It's out of bounds to ask for the tip, but if they do, you've got to give them one.
Yeah. I did feel bad not tipping because you know what? She looked me in the eyes and it was a real
puppy dog.
It wasn't like, when they look away. It was like she was staring down me, like staring down the FBOS machine, and I had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it was like 5, 10, 15, 20 and no tip. And I was like, fuck it, 5.
She's eyeball. Oh, so you gave a tip?
No tip, 5.
Oh, so...
No. Just thought, I'm not
and
tipping.
when they're eyeballing you too.
10 out of 10 service. Can't speak more highly of the service, the food.
She sat there, worked deliberately hard to try and get these tips.
That's the standard.
Yeah, that should be the standard.
That should be the standard.
I know.
That's why we go out for an expensive meal with a family and,
Well, that's the thing. You're paying these places to ask for a tip. They're charging through the roof anyway.
Oh, yeah. That's what I mean. Like, $25 for a cocktail. Come on.
Yeah, there's your tip right there. Take the $10 off my cocktail.
I'll give you a tip. Yeah, pop the machine off and just get me another one. Anyway, that's our play on our out of bounds this week. I thought that'd be good. We'll get to our Aces tipping leaderboard. Going well. I haven't looked at it yet. I always do this live on the pod, but Gone Without a Trace has been the key theme all year. So how many did you get last week, Pig?
I think I got 5.
Nice. I got 6. We have there's 2 legs I'm in. All right, so we get to the leaderboard and, Gone Without a Trace kicks clear by 2 now. This is boring, this segment, because Gone Without a Trace is the only one that is staying there. Special shout out to Kyle Baker, 25. First time I've seen your name. And Caitlin _ on 113, but Gone Without a Trace on 115.
What are you on?
I'm on 103.
Yeah, I'll get you by 3.
Yeah, had a couple of mares there. We'll move straight through, but Gone Without a Trace, it's yours to lose. And I think you'd be a Melbourne supporter, which is great because you got that signed Melbourne jersey. So we'll probably give that away to the winner if it is Gone Without a Trace.
Anyway, he's been the man for the year.
Could be a girl, mate. How do you know?
Good point.
Well, let's get into it, mate. Our favourite segment of yours, that is Pooch. Give it to me.
So I'll tell you what is Pooch, and it runs into what I'm going to say in a sec, is you giving me a tip an hour before this podcast, the thing is an absolute nugget. So that's Pooch.
$3 into $1.90 before the jump. I was sitting there playing with myself.
You're already counting your money.
Oh, well, it led 12.50 splits. We're flying, and then died in the arse come third. I told you bet return though, didn't I? Get your money back.
Yeah, that's all right, mate. I have had worse tips regularly. But on the horses, and I got this video, and there's this favourite. It's up by 10 lengths. Up by 10 lengths. I'm just trying to think about it. Okay, edit that out.
You need a bloopers reel for the year to be Grouse.
Oh, you can talk. You sit there and go, you do that again, Brad. Oh, yeah, do that again, Brad. I'm sitting there just trying to flow along with it.
I know how your brain's thinking. You're crafting this.
How I'm going to say this.
Just tell the story about your brother.
Well, yeah, I'll play this clip, Brado. But I've got a funny story. It's nearly exactly the same as this horse. About 15 years ago, we're sitting at the Somerville pub. It gets a bit rowdy down at the Somerville pub.
Where's that?
Down in Somerville.
It's an area. Sorry.
Cut
that one.
Down near Mount Eliza, just fast fraction. I was 15 years old. I would have been 18 or 19. And we're at the pub, all of our mates, most of my brother's mates. I was just tagging along. A few beers were flowing on the races, and my brother's got on I can't remember, he was about to win a monster. This thing's paying $15, $20. We're at the pub. He's got a jug in his hand, and he's got on this thing. And he's up by 10 lengths, same as that edit. With 50, 60 metres to go, he jumps on the table, has a jug in his hand, sculls half the jug. He's going, yeah, before he does that, he's like, I'm home. And he's about to win over $1,000, I think. He's wrapped. Sculls half the jug, tips it on his head, the rest of it. It's made an absolute mess of the place. By the time he's looked up, the the horse has come fourth and because it's run through the rail. And the whole pub,
no, through the rail.
the horse has jumped through the rail, but he's tipped the beer on his head, so we didn't see the end of the race. By the time he's looked up, the interim results were on and his horse wasn't up there.
It jumped through the rail.
Jumped the rail and he didn't get a place and the whole pub has erupted. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen, and still to this day, I'll tell us this story many a time. I didn't let him live it down for a while, but that video, hopefully Brado clipped it up, it reminded me of it so much I thought I had to share the story. Very funny.
I remember you said that.
A few of your mates like bring it up all the time, like, mate, what about that horse your brother got on and he tipped the jug on his head thinking it won?
Do you think we could find the footage?
Well, mate, look at that video. It was 15 years ago. It was mate. It would be.
Brodo's giving me the maybe not.
It was a country race. I'll see if I can feel. It was a country. It wasn't like a Caulfield.
Yeah, but sometimes your mates that are there, they always remember the details. It was, it might have been Wagga Race 6 or something.
Mate, but I'm telling you, that video that Brado will clip up, it's
identical.
Identical. Like it was home by 10 lengths. And then by the time he's got looked up, peeled the beer out of his eyes, he's looked up, his horse wasn't there.
What was he?
And the whole pub was pissing themselves laughing.
It's honestly,
stood up on the table and did it. Oh, it was good.
We're talking Pucci. I reckon that is the Grouse.
That was the Grouse for everyone else there.
Dude, what was he like afterwards? Reputable?
Oh, gutted, mate. Sitting there drenched in beer.
It would have stunk as well. The fact he's got on there the table and gone.
I left after that. I was that embarrassed of him. I was like, geez, I'm getting out of this. It's not my brother. No, anyway. And we going Pucci, or do you want me to get straight into the Grouse?
Get into your Grouse. You're on fire here.
I've got Ginnivan this week, and nothing makes my heart warmer than seeing someone get into the Collingwood supporters. And when he kicked those, he had a blinder.
Oh, mate, he had 19 or 21 at half time.
It's probably the best game he's played, and he's done it against the old mob who got rid of him last year. He's had 31, kicked the goal and done the old, let's go to the Collingwood cheer squad.
We're talking walked at them.
They're sitting there spraying him. I thought, this kid's got balls. To be honest, I wasn't too sure about him. I thought he was a little bit of a smart ass and all that. I'm starting to really become a fan of him. I like what he's doing.
Well, it's amazing what happens when you just, I think when you don't play for Collingwood, I reckon everyone doesn't like Collingwood naturally because they're the biggest club in it. But now that he's playing at Hawks and he's giving it back to Collingwood fans, it's a lot of people are now jumping on the bandwagon. Even I saw some big names in AFL media saying that they all respect him now was the main thing. They really respect the way he's playing, therefore they can really like the stuff he does. I've always loved the way he goes about it. I reckon it's we always talk about bums on seats, but mate, not that Instagram following is something you should read into, but he's almost got more followers than anyone in the league, and it just means that people want more people like that on the ground. And the way he walked, it wasn't just like non-eyes. It was the spy cam kind of whatever camera comes up. He's seen the camera, looked at the camera, given it the go to bed, and then walked then doubled down, walked back to the cage like the man. Like when you're walking back to the cage, one out when centre square bounce, you're the man, and looked at all the cheer squad that would have been hugging him last year when he's got a medallion around his neck and said, go to bed.
The best thing about him is like he's copped it through the media, copped it from his old club, and he's just not changing. He's nearly just like, hey, this is me, take it or leave it. You got to respect him for that.
He's a good. We had a good chat at the start of the year,
and he's like an alright kid,
great mate. Very works his ass off. It's just you don't see, as you know, like you've played the game, you don't see all the hard work behind the scenes. All you see is the carry on, and I mean, people love. That's how people like someone like him. He thrives off it. Makes him better. So. Yeah, it was good to see. I've got a question for you though. At his Collingwood reunion, say they had a 1-year reunion at the end of the year for the grand final, do you think it's awkward between any of the players, or you reckon they don't give a stuff?
They know what he's about. I don't think it'd be an issue with that.
Either do I. But you're going to be one bloke in there.
Someone could be not. I don't think someone would say something, but to be a smart ass, like here's your form, blah blah blah. But I don't think anyone would really care.
Do you go back and say 31-1 though, boys?
Yeah.
They don't reckon,
and we had a win. So maybe I'm the difference. You guys are pukes this year. And I'm the Grouse.
Oh, Guinea, keep it up, mate. You are on fire, and we love watching bums on seats. Well, mate, I can't top your work. You're going too well. I'll have a crack at it. But I'll start with that's huge. I don't know if we've got any Gold Coast listeners and fans. Hopefully we do. But if you live on the Gold Coast, that Gold Coast highway is huge. You're looking at 40 kilometres for about pretty much from Burleigh all the way to Broadbeach, just with construction. They must be putting something in train lines. No. Leave it in there, fuck it.
It's a nugget. Actually, keep them all in this week. He does it 10 times. All in,
fuck it. We should have $10 clangers. I reckon we'd be up to about $100 today.
Me 20, you'd be about $1,000.
But what I noticed was, mate, big shout out to our sponsor, our KPI Construction, our sponsors. They are doing that much work on Gold Coast Highway. I counted minimum 5,000 cones, I reckon. They had that many people out there. So it just reminded me of how lucky we are to have KPI Construction, one of the best in the business, looking after
every cone
pretty
labeled.
much the Gold Coast town. You know, they're putting in some important infrastructure there. So that construction going around was just huge, though. You can't get from A to B. I honestly reckon you could ride a bike quicker on the coast. That's how much construction's going on. So I think in a few years, that place will be unbelievable. Like there's the Mondrian's getting built. I think because Olympics is going to be in Brisbane. Is it 2032? 2032 or whatever it is. It's not far away. So I reckon Gold Coast is getting itself primed for all those people that want a little holiday post-Olympics.
Mate, I forgot about the Olympics coming here.
Yeah, Brizzy.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, and that's why I reckon there's a lot of construction going on in the Goldie. So, but I'll tell you what's the grouse. We love our NBA, but LeBron James, you know, for Team USA. Now we're going to talk Olympics next week, and we are right behind our Aussie boys. But the fact that LeBron James is going to become the first ever USA men's basketball flag bearer, right, at his age, and single-handedly getting them over the line against South Sudan, I think it was, and someone else the other day.
South Sudan.
Yeah, yeah, that's another story, how well they went. But LeBron in the clutch, getting it done, like, however old he is, mate, we are so lucky.
40? Is he 40?
Oh, he's touching on 40s.
You love him, don't you?
Well, I just realised, like, Michael Jordan, I don't remember him. And all I hear about is people going, the GOAT. And I don't care about the GOAT conversation. I just care about greatness. And then there's a lot around. You got to enjoy it, right?
100%.
You're seeing Nadal and all that kind of slowly drop off now. Like, people are too busy talking about that shit instead of just enjoying them for what you got. And there's that many haters out there. But, like, we are that lucky. And I think he said he's not going to do the next Olympics. Which is in LA.
Great grandkids by then.
Well, but that's what I'm trying to say. He's still hitting game winners, and he's still the guy they throw the ball to at the end of the game, which means you're the man.
You are the man, yeah.
Team USA. So I just think we are. I can't wait for the Olympics. That is what's great. This basketball competition that's coming up. I reckon the Aussies are a fair income chance. They've got great chemistry. They've worked their ass off. You know, even seeing USA get, you know, they're not going that well because they haven't played a lot of basketball together, but they're only pickup games. But, yeah, I reckon LeBron is the grouse.
Just on the grouse and just on the Olympics, which is, I can't wait. Like, every time, it's always on the TV, there's always something exciting going. What's the event where you look forward to watching the most? Like, I love the 100 metres, and the swimming has always been a thing for Aussies because we've dominated it for so long. You know, men's and women. But there's some sports out there, man, that it's not a sport. Breakdancing came in this year. Like,
what?
Breakdancing is a sport in the Olympics this year.
Well, you can get a gold medal.
Gold medal.
For breakdancing.
Breakdancing.
I didn't know that.
So let's I don't know.
I didn't know that.
We probably should have prepped this. It's just popped into my head and I thought we'd talk about it. But like, there's got to be some sports out there that aren't in the Olympics that are better than breakdancing.
How about we put it to everyone out there listening, you know, get involved, comment, but let us know.
All the breakdancers out there, good on you, but Jesus Christ.
Oh, they're coming for you after that.
It's not an Olympic sport, is it?
I don't know. I actually don't know a breakdancer.
Neither. Oh, well, give me a couple of beers on a Saturday night.
Yeah, I know. Well, I respect them, though. I wish I could do it.
Yeah,
That's funny, though. I didn't know that was a sport. Well, maybe next week we come together, me and you, and come back with our top 3 and our worst 3.
Yeah, that's good. So I'll put us on the spot here, but it wasn't in the run sheet. But that's like, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
anyway,
that's amazing.
But I can't wait to watch it. I can't wait for the
Have you seen the sprint doco?
track and field. I've watched like 3 episodes.
Okay,
Very American.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Definitely don't read.
Look at me.
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
the way they are.
That is it.
And it's what sells. That's why we're watching it.
100%.
Well, let's get to our eye-catching moment before we get into some footy. We've been talking some serious pump this week, which we know you all love, but it's time to talk. Time to talk.
Talking pump. Yeah.
What would you say in the locker room when you were talking shit?
Talking mud.
Mud.
Yeah,
it's not far off.
talking a bit of mud.
Talk a little bit of pump, little pipe that goes through, and you do a Boris Becker. A little bit of pump. Anyway.
All right.
What do you got for us?
Well, for me, and I've been told, I was told a year and a half ago to watch this show. It's the Tour de France. It was my eye-catching moment this week, and on the last 2 weeks, I was told to watch this ages ago and put it off. Didn't know anything about racing, and didn't really get it. You know, they're riding on a bike, going up some hills. Good on them. But I profit now.
Riding up some hills, good on them. No, I know what you mean.
Mate, me and my missus, we would have crunched out the 2 seasons. They're about an hour an episode nearly, 45 minutes, whatever. And we crunched it out in like a week. And then I was watching the highlights every morning. And that Tadej Pogacar, he's just a freak. Won by 6 minutes. In context, that's a lot. And it's funny watching the doco. They call it suffering. And it is. I don't know if you were ever in rehab in your footy career and you're riding on the bike.
Last 2 years.
They're like, we suffer on the bike. And it's like, that is exactly what they're doing. Like, they're in pain for 5 hours. I just think they're some of the best athletes in the world, how fit they have to be. One of the younger guys that was on the tour was, he was a captain of the Belgium soccer team. We know Belgium are pretty good in the World Cup, and they've got a lot of talent. And he pretty much chose racing over it, and he's obviously was known for his fitness. I don't know. I just found watching that show gave me a lot of in-depth and understanding of how much it takes, how much work they do. There's always a little bit of the drugs and all that, but I don't think that happens anymore. But it was my eye-catching moment. Tadej Pogacar winning by 6 minutes in the end, but I learnt a lot about it, and now I'm a fan. I'll watch it, and I'll definitely be watching it again next year. It's on late at night, so I'll just get the 10-minute highlights every morning, but absolutely loved it.
Yeah, that's good. I know like Matty De Boer and a few of the other boys at Freo when I first got there, because it's on a good time slot in Perth because it's 2 hours behind here, so it's probably a little bit leaning towards midnight, but you could handle it if it was a big race or a big climb. And they used to love it. They used to all talk about it. I never got into it, but I haven't educated myself around it. But yeah, I think it's something that I'll definitely get into. I know my sister loves it.
Well, there's so many teams, and there might be 6 people on a team, and there's one leader, and they protect him. And there's like, there might be a sprinter in the team, but they pretty much make sure he's guarded by the wind. And there's like 2 or 3, the domestiques they're called, and they literally carry them drinks or gels. They'll sprint up, give him a drink, and then go have a rest. And then if he needs a drink again or a gel, that's their job. Like, that's their one job, to protect this bloke.
It's such good teamwork, isn't it?
It's all about team. I didn't know that. I thought everyone was just racing for themselves. But nah, some people know they're not going to win, and like they're just there to help this one guy.
It's and as being blokes that played team sport our whole lives, it's actually so cool to see.
Yeah.
All right, mine's a little bit different. This is a huge eye catcher for me, but I noticed online this week that Domino's is now delivering pizzas through the Jet Suit Champion.
No.
There's a guy out there that has done a little bit of a gig, but he was delivering Domino's pizzas through a jet suit. I'm not joking you. He rolls in this jet suit. It's honestly like a movie. People on the streets going, what's going on here? He lands on his feet. He walks in. He loads up all the pizzas like a Uber Eats driver. And then he goes outside and then jets off and lands on maybe a golf course and drops some pizzas off if the boys want one.
Is that legal?
I don't know, mate, but it has caught my eye. It blew my mind. So we are now seeing jet suits delivering pizzas. And I'm hearing drones, but jet suits delivering food. Can you imagine when you're on a Sunday and you're pulled up absolutely dog shit after the Burley Pav or whatever, and you go, I wouldn't want a pizza from Justin Lane's, and in comes that bloke from on a jet suit and drops it off poolside, and you go, thanks, mate, and he just jets off. Huh? Honestly, like, what world are we living in?
Perk you up, wouldn't it? If you hang over, you're like, I want to. Geez, I want a pizza, jet suit. Now I want to get on the piss again.
Yeah, but how dangerous are they? Like, I mean, I've never seen one before.
That has to be a gimmick. Like,
I swear to God, it's a thing.
See, I don't know enough about it. Now I'm going to look into this when I get home. But that's awesome. But that's the Grouse.
Yeah, it is the Grouse, and that's where we're going. Can you imagine the world we're going to live in 20 years?
Well,
I'm reading articles that Elon Musk reckons Teslas that drive themselves, I think they're the robo type or whatever they're called, but he's saying invest in the Tesla because when you park it, you can then just send it out because people get picked up in Teslas in America now with no one in them. They pick people up. So you can turn it on and become an Uber driver, but you're not actually driving the car. It's just your car. And he's saying we'll do a little rev share model where we take a little clip of it, but essentially your car will pay itself off while you're in the lounge room because it's out there picking up people.
Wow. I actually, so when you say...
It's crazy. I was like, what? That is just mental, getting in the car without someone in there.
Everyone talks about the flying cars and that, and I was listening to an Elon Musk thing. We've gone off topic here a little bit, but...
Footy podcast, for anyone that's new here, we're talking AFL football.
But they're like, will there be flying cars in 20 years? He goes, we've got flying cars now. They're called helicopters.
Yeah.
And he's like, and he went into detail about why we won't have them. So if he's saying it, we're not going to have flying cars, but we're going to have Jetman suits delivering us pizzas. That's what we're going to be having. It
is. There you go. That's our RIXX eye-catching moments right there. The Tour de France and Domino's, just jet suit flying pizzas. If you want some sunnies, rixeyewear.com.au. Use our discount code ACES and check out the large Melrose that Hibbo's got on. They look great on you if you've got a large head.
What's the gold ones I got? What colour is it?
The Soho, is it?
No, the other one, same as these.
Melrose Champagne.
Melrose Champagne. I love them too. I'll bring them
just
in next
on them.
week.
How are they, like, from the sunglasses you have had and haven't had, what's been the difference?
These are the size, the large. I've bought so many pairs of sunnies and I'm sick of the arms being bent out because I do have a large pill. We've discussed this. But they don't lose their shape. Like, that's just, and it fits perfect. Doesn't pinch around the nose. They're good. They're unreal. Thank you, mate. That's
good to hear. Well, there you go. Get online if you've got a large head. If not, got a pinhead like me, well, just get online as well because we've got them all there. rixeyewear.com.au. Righto, let's break down our predictions, our game previews and our tips for you for this big week coming up. Round 20 of the AFL. Can you believe it? And then our locks, and a stop that to finish from our friends at KPI Construction.
We'll try and get through these because we've been talking a bit of pump. And we're going against a bit of time here. But we will give a couple of games. So we'll focus on the first game, Friday night at Marvel Stadium, Carlton versus Port. Intriguing game. Carlton only really, we spoke about earlier, just got over the line to North. It's at home. Port a bit inconsistent up and down. I'm going to go Carlton. Just as we said, they've got the best list nearly in the comp. And I don't know who's going to play on their two big men. I'll just Turk Thatcher.
Midfield battle will be Grouse. Backline, forward line combo on Charlie and Harry. I just think Charlie, I think I might have said it last week, but Charlie, I reckon he's playing all right. He's kicking 4 goals. Like, he is due to kick a big bag. I just don't know how you're going to stop him prime time. Cripper's flying. I'm going to go with Carlton. I'd be shocked if they lost this one.
I would be.
If they lost this one, because this is like a final game, right? Port Adelaide are.
Port need to win.
Yeah, I know they need to win. And they also, this is what a final would look like, I reckon, this week.
It's Friday night.
Yep. And it's, when you go finals, you have elimination sometimes. This is so important for both clubs. It's going to be on. Yep. And you're going to get a true understanding of where they're both at. And I reckon there's patches of Port where I loved and hated last week, and same with Carlton, where it's like, you should be putting this side away. Or maybe North are going better than we think. But Richmond, I thought, and they ended up doing that, Port. So do they start like that? I'm going to tip, I think Carlton 1-39 is me tip.
Yep.
And that'll get you probably juicy odds. And then I'd be taking Patrick Cripps for a goal as well. I reckon big captain goal. They stand up the big games.
De Koning out for the season now. And
season?
Yeah, I think so. He's out.
At least the home and away.
At least the home and away
season. There you go. And I heard
Pitnet's a good ruckman
well,
though.
yeah,
he's sitting there ready to go. So I don't.
Apparently, Cripper has been working on his ruckcraft, and he said, "I'm putting my hand up if they need me." So he's Brownlow favourite, I think $2.25 or something, and he's putting his hand up as the skipper, my captain, saying, "If you need me to ruck, I'm ruck. I'm not too precious. I'm not too important to not play this role," which is unreal.
We all know he's one of the best blokes going around. It's and when the ball hits the ground, there'd be no better ruckman than Cripper. So that'd be pretty smart for the secondary ruck.
Oh,
who are you tipping while we move through?
Carlton. Tip for these games just coming up. North at Blundstone spoke about against the Cats. I think the Cats bounce back. I know I find it hard. I didn't want to put Cats as my lock, but I think they bounce back against North.
Back the Cats. Yeah, North. By the way, loving North. I've got high hopes for North next year. There's another little clanger for you, $10 in the kitty. Next year, North. I reckon I'll almost go out on a limb and saying that I reckon they'll be touching on the 8 next year if they recruit a couple big dogs.
People's First Stadium, Gold Coast versus Brisbane.
This is huge. Gold Coast have not lost a game at home all year.
The Q Clash, that's what they call it.
Yeah, they haven't lost a game all year. They need to win this. They are a chance to still play finals if they win. They looked horrific last week against the Giants. I watched the whole game and they did not fire a shot.
I nearly wanted to make Brisbane my lock. Just purely, there we go.
Oh,
purely thinking that they can't win every game up there, and Brisbane played well on the weekend, although they've lost a couple of their big fellas down back. So Ben King could kick a bag. He got 7 shots on the weekend for 0 goals. So you'd be pissed off if you're a Gold Coast midfielder going, what more can I do? I'm putting it down your throat, big fella. How about you kick it through the big thick?
Mickey Martin. Who you called Donny Pike? What was his name? Big Martin Pike. You were calling
Pike, Mickey Martin.
Yeah, hey,
They look
you kick it with the big sticks.
They look the same.
I must say though to Kingy that it was on television. You don't normally see it, but it was blowing an absolute gale last week. But on the other side of things, the Giants boys didn't miss, so no excuses. But yeah, I reckon he'll kick a few.
Who you got?
I'm actually gonna. I'm tipping Brisbane, but I would not be surprised. Nah, Andrews out is a really interesting one though. I'm a bit concerned with that. King, Lukosius, but since Day's gone out, they haven't looked the same. So I'm gonna back Brisbane, but at 1.39 for Brisbane, I don't think they'll blow Gold Coast out.
Saturday Arvo Marvel, St Kilda versus Essendon. What's your tip
Big game. Tell you why.
It's not that big a game.
It's big.
Why?
I'm going to lock in Essendon.
Lock.
$1.78 or something.
$1.79.
$1.79. A little bit of juice. Mate, if Essendon are playing finals, they have to get past a kingless forward line at the Saints. King not there. They got beat by Adelaide last week. I saw a team, like what they dished up in the first half and then the way Essendon played in that third quarter, I expect them to play like that from the start. I know Saints will lock the game down. We know that, but
they love Marvel too, the Bombers.
Yeah, the Bombers, I mean, if the Bombers don't win this, it honestly is a disgrace. They've been top 4 all year and now they're playing a team that's really got nothing to play for, even though they want to upset and hurt teams here now and, you know, build on their next 5-year plan or whatever it is. But I just think Essendon start well.
You can't lose these.
You can't lose this team. This is a team that's down the bottom. So I am going to lock in Essendon. And with the odds that we're getting given, you know me and you, we've got a new formula here. We need to speed things up. So $1.30s, I'm going for $1.80 for the boys.
Love it. I like it. I like your tip. And I can't believe they're $1.80. Well,
we should take that today, by the way.
Hey?
We should take that today so it doesn't fly in.
Melbourne versus GWS.
Here it is, the Pig and Train Cup.
Pig and Train Cup.
I played 2 games and had 4 disposals or something.
Yeah, I played 110 All-Australian and a premiership. So it is what it is.
Well, you'll be in the high vis next week after that. I'll give you the tip with the sausage arms out. And it has to be open. We both have to leave the high vis open so you got the gut hanging out.
It's not a gut, mate. It's an absolute washboard.
Well, mine's a gut if we lose,
All right, so I'm tipping Melbourne, you're tipping GWS.
Gorney back. Actually tip Melbourne. Genuinely think
at
Melbourne.
The G, they just need a win. And I just think these games, like the other week, everyone was against them. These are the games they win. They should have won. They weren't good last week. Trip over there.
Tough to come back from Perth.
Yeah, it's tough getting there too. All right, so we've got our tips. All right, the derby or the derby. We spoke about this earlier in the year. What do you call it? We're going to tip Freo. We're going to tip Freo.
Yeah, Freo flying. West Coast there. It's been a long year for West Coast. I was just thinking about the other day. Coach is gone now. The new coach comes in. They dish up a really strong performance, first one, and then second one last week against West Coast. St Kilda, really poor. The Derby, they're going to fire up. I reckon it'll be real tight early, and then I reckon Freo will blow them out in the second half.
It's about this time of year, as a team that doesn't play finals, you're looking at flights to Europe. You're booking your hotel. You're seeing what tent you'll get into in the Oktoberfest.
I was just about to say Oktoberfest. Are we going there? Are we going to Ibiza?
You're going there. You're going to Ibiza too, just on the way.
I reckon, honestly, the boys were looking at that a couple of weeks earlier.
Oh, yeah. They 100%.
It's so funny you say that because when you're at, say, Collingwood.
They're going to get in the gym a bit more, pump up. They want
all of a sudden, the coach is going, geez, the boys are buying into the upper bodies program.
They look good. They're no good, but they look good.
We've all been there, haven't we?
Oh, heaps of times.
When you're like 100.
Sorry.
I was saying when you're on 100% chance of no finals, you're going, well, I'm going to make sure I'm looking half decent because I've got a 2-week blowout coming up.
I reckon there was a time, and it was like nearly early in my career where it's like, if we won a game, we were going to be no good. We were at Essendon. I think we just missed out. And I was like, I kind of wanted us to lose because if we got into the finals, we weren't going to be any good. I was like,
you sick unit.
I don't want to win this week. I just want to go to Europe. Nah, I'm taking that piss.
It's what would be interesting would be is when's Collingwood? You get to go away to Collingwood.
Collingwood versus there's another one. Collingwood versus Richmond. Big game. I'll tell you why. This is my lock, and I'm going to go on Bobby Hill goal as well. So that gets us $1.60.
Oh, come on, man. Give us a bit more juice.
That was the minimum we needed, $1.60. You've given us the extra juice.
That'll get us home quicker. I like that. Bobby Hill, he'll kick 3, you'd think.
You'd think, they're getting scored against Richmond.
If they're going to win, Bobby's going to score.
Collingwood will win, and he'll kick a goal. It's a lock.
Yeah. Jesus, juicy odds for that, isn't it?
Really, if you think about it.
I love how you go on the head-to-head. I mean, I said I wouldn't go head-to-head again, but I just looked at it and went, that's got to be over the odds. I'm just going to have it. I should have done Giants last week. I regretted that, and I thought I'm going to shoot and aim later, and I'm going, bang, Essendon.
Do you know what I was going to do? Because we're going to tip Collingwood, both of us.
Yeah, but just on that, this is the one we're talking off-season plans, what I was just trying to get to. Oh, yeah. This is big because they're a chance to play finals, but they're also a chance to miss out. So booking your off-season travel, very difficult for them. Yeah, and I reckon they've got their B&F plan a week after the granny because that's what they would have expected. So they're in a buffer period, which is awkward because you've got September free, but you've got to come back for B&F. So that's when you normally duck off to Bali or you duck off to Europe. You come back, then you do your American travel after that.
I remember that being a big issue when I was playing. At Melbourne in 2017, we just missed out on percentage, but we had our best and fairest after the granny. I think even one year when we knew we weren't going to play finals, well, I just bring the thing forward into September. Didn't happen after the grand final. And it's like you can go on a 4-week holiday, come back, have to go on a little holiday again, or you're back just into the grind, back into training. But, yeah, they're going to have to pull their finger out and play finals and wait till October to go away. But that is a thing. And it's annoying. You don't want to come all the way back from Europe and then fly to Bali again.
There's another thing that I don't know if it's still out there, but when we were playing, if you played a final, you got like an extra week off. But if you played a semi or prelim, I think you lost a couple of weeks on your holiday or something like that, wasn't it?
Last year, it was if you play one final, because there's a bye before the finals now, right? If you play one final, you come back the same date as the teams that don't play finals. So
that's right. You lose a week of holidays.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Because of the bye.
Yes, that's right.
And then if you played in the second final, so if you happen to win that final,
it's a semi.
You get the 2 weeks back.
Yeah.
But then I think it's if you're in a granny, you lose the 2 weeks. So I think there's only 2 floating dates, which is stupid. There should be a floating date based on how many.
You get punished for making a prelim and losing.
Yeah.
And a granny, you don't. They normally give you extended. But if you make an elimination final and lose, you get punished for 2 weeks of holidays.
Yeah.
I remember that being a thing.
Yeah, it was the thing. It's and like even if you make the granny, you lose a couple of weeks. I mean, you take it because you don't care because you're playing in a granny. But
of course.
Still lose a couple of weeks of holidays.
Oh, mate, it's the worst.
Everyone loves it.
Especially when you're the 2-time emergency. Can't play, can't impact, got no holidays. Gone. Back to pre-season doing 3Ks. You wonder why it's so good. They had no time off.
Holidays you should get back after Christmas anyway, in my opinion.
Anyway, finish off the games.
Anyway, I'm tipping Brisbane versus the Dogs. I was going to tip Sydney as my lock, but I didn't. But I'm just going to tip them. You?
Yeah, I'm going to go Sydney, but I would not be surprised if the Dogs win.
Adelaide Hawks, last game of the round. I'm going the Hawks. $1.90.
I'm not tipping against the Hawks for the rest of the year. I said that last week. I think I tipped Collingwood, gave them the last chance as the premiers. I'm going Hawks, even though Adelaide looked really good. I think the last time Hawks played there, I got a feeling Hardwick kicked 4 1/4. I might be wrong, but it sits with me. So, yeah, it's going to be a good round. That's a good game to finish. $1.90, $1.94. So either way, no one knows who that'll win. But there you go. Our locks are locked in.
Collingwood.
And we've got about $288. So we're probably looking at, that would go to about, so we're looking at about $600 if we win. Or maybe more. $700 next week.
We'll do the math later on. We'll worry about it when
next week's a big week. We might be able to creep that up. Righto.
All right, let's go.
Time for our KPI Construction. Stop that. As I said, if you're on the Gold Coast and you're driving from Burleigh to Broadbeach, look at our fine sponsor that we have for Aces Premiership Countdown. They are doing amazing things. They are helping the future of Gold Coast construction over there.
How do you get your thing not to look like that all the time?
I think this is the better one. I think that one's. I think that's busted. That one.
It's like someone's been headbutting.
That one looks like your sports bet account. Just busted.
You can talk. You're the one giving me the nugget tips.
I know. Anyway, it's like going bang on the pod.
That should have been more stop that.
We've got a couple stop that's this week, don't we? I'll start us off. I've got to stop that for the Olympic Committee. I don't know who signed off on these beds, but we have the best athletes in the world. They have trained their ass off for 4, 5, 6, thousands of years to get to these Olympics and be at peak performance. And I hear they're sleeping on cardboard base beds, thin mattresses in horrific conditions. Now, I know there's a lot of athletes they need to look after, but I don't know whether it's an Australian thing or a global thing. But surely we can get them the Grouse mattress and give them their best chance to be at peak performance. I mean, come on, stop that to the Olympic Committee, putting our best athletes in the world in these horrific setups. It's a cardboard base. I saw it looks quite firm, but yeah, it's a unique setup. And I was thinking, outside of this, if you are LeBron James, you got a lot of squid, right? Are you going, nah, I'm going to go book myself up the road 5-star?
That's what they do.
That's what they do.
They slept on a yacht last year. I remember, I think all the basketballers slept on a yacht off-site. Where was the Olympics last time?
Tokyo? Stop asking me these questions. I sound like another
pretty sure they slept on a yacht. And there was a big uproar around it that they wouldn't get around the other athletes. And they're like, well, they're worth about, LeBron's worth $1 billion.
Let's take LeBron out of this scenario then. Let's talk about as if you are one of the better athletes.
Michael Phelps or something.
Well, yeah, maybe a swimmer, but someone not that good. Someone that you don't know about. Someone that's maybe potential going to win a gold. They don't have a lot of money behind them. This is their year. They're going to make a name for themselves. Do they go and give themselves a better chance by paying for accommodation for that 2 weeks?
Probably. A lot of partying going on in those Olympic villages, apparently.
I
haven't been to one.
A lot more going on than just partying.
Yes. Yeah.
As Morgan Mitchell said, condom machine in the cafeteria.
Yeah, right. Well, enough said.
Anyway, so yeah, big stop that to putting our athletes on these horrific beds. Come on, give them the 5-star treatment.
What? We need to find and get to the bottom of that where they stayed. I'm pretty sure they stayed on a yacht. Imagine that. Anyway. My KPI Construction stop that is to Twitter or X. Do you have Twitter or X?
I don't use it, but I've got it.
Mate, I know they did some cutting of staff, and 80% of their staff they cut, and they're saving some money. But there needs to be more censorship. Every time I go on there now, I'll watch a video, or you'll send me a video, or someone will tag me in a video on there, and then you scroll down. Then the next thing, some dog's getting hit by a car, or someone's arms getting cut off. Then there's porn. It's like, what is going on with Twitter? Like, I can't turn it on. If I'm in there in public,
how's the algorithm?
It's not my algorithm.
It's your algorithm.
Anyone that knows that has Twitter knows what I'm talking about. There'd be like someone. I don't even want to say the gory shit that's on there these days. It is disgusting. So they need to sort it out. I don't even want to go on there and scroll. Like, I don't feel comfortable. If I'm at a cafe or something, I don't scroll to the next video on Twitter because it could be absolutely anything. So to Twitter or X, not that they're going to be listening. Elon Musk is the big dog, and he's probably got better things to do. But maybe this will go on his algorithm. But stop that. Get some censorship because it's becoming really disturbing and just
That's a great way to finish it off.
What a way to finish.
Thank you to everyone out there that supports us. Me and Pig are going to get some speech therapy because we have been nowhere today. Plenty to talk about. I've got some notes next week. We're coming back with our Olympics top 3, bottom 3, and other names for pump. You let us know. The orange high vis, will Pig be in it? Oh, let's see how they go, the Ds. But thank you to everyone. Keep getting your comments in. There's a lot coming your way, and thanks for your support. We'll see you next week. This episode is proudly sponsored by KPI Construction Services. When it comes to construction sites, reliability and efficiency are key. That's where KPI Construction Services shines. With a single call, KPI provides a range of essential services, which includes labour hire, crane hire, and traffic control. KPI is a progressive business with modern plant and equipment across all of their operating states. Focusing on innovation and to avoid the business drifting is always front of mind. We are proud to be aligned with and have such a reputable company partnering with the show. Aces, I know I always go on about the RIXXs, but I got huge news. We have all our styles and colours restocked on the website right now. Get online, grab some sunglasses at rixxeyewear.com.au right now and use our little discount code ACES if you want a 20% discount code on the house.